Something interesting is happening here. Everyone gets that this thing is a disaster, but the media is starting to finally talk about it a year and a half in. They're starting to mention the cognitive stuff. They're starting to blame him for things. And believe it or not, it's even making it to CNN.
He's in charge at this moment. That's bleak.
That's right. And there's no question that in some big ways, this administration, including the president and some of his closest economic advisors, got inflation wrong. We've heard that correction from some of his top officials, including the Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, saying, yeah, last year when we were saying this is probably going to be temporary and transitory, we were wrong.
Jedediah, you used to be on The View. That is mainstream media. And God bless you for sitting at that table, by the way. It's happening. I mean, it's bursting forth into the mainstream. They cannot ignore this much longer, right?
Yeah, and I survived The View, so thank you for that, Dave. But, here's the thing. I think they're setting us all up, though. They're going to have to cart somebody else out here that's not Biden. Listen, I'm sorry, he can't do this again. He knows he can't do it again. His family, his friends, the people close to him know he can't do this again, especially if he's going to be up against someone like Ron DeSantis, who is the guy to run. We can get to that in a second. But I think they're setting it up like they're going to ease in and try to say, well, Joe Biden may have done this wrong. They'll turn on him in 2 seconds if it means that it's going to be cackling Kamala or it's going to be somebody else that they pull out of the woodwork. I don't know, Mayor Pete, who knows who it's going to be? It could be Beto for all we know with where these people are headed. But I think they're going to have to ease us into that. And you're going to see a slow at first and then quicker transition where people are going to start to turn on Biden from within the camp because they know that he cannot get up to the podium. Listen, in a couple of years, he's not going to be able to get up to the podium. He can't even do it now. He phases out mid-sentence oftentimes. It's painful to watch for all of us and sad and depressing, and people in his family who are allowing him to do this, disgraceful, by the way. But I think they're getting ready to phase somebody else in, and I think they're looking at those videos of DeSantis. Listen, Ron DeSantis, I moved to Florida as well because of DeSantis. He did everything that was the opposite of what Joe Biden did and Bill de Blasio did and Gavin Newsom did. And everyone and their brother, sister, mother, neighbor moved to Florida. If he's looking at DeSantis, and you know they are, because they already started going after it, the Don't Say Gay bill. There's no Don't Say Gay bill. They invented that. They did all of that because they're terrified that a DeSantis or someone like him could run. And they know damn well that Joe Biden cannot hold a candle to that. It's not going to work. So they're starting to think, who are we going to need to push up? And I don't think people should be excited about this because I'll tell you, Joe Biden is a conduit for far left policies, but what they're going to be looking at post-Biden is someone that's right there front and center. That's your far left. That's someone who's not going to need to be a conduit because they're going to want to do it all themselves. And I'll remind you, Liz talked about all those things that Joe Biden could be doing to make things better. Of course he could be doing that. Leadership starts at the top. The destruction, I will remind you, is intentional. The destruction is intentional. They need you to be a dependent. They need you to be in poverty. They need you to lose your business because when you do all of those things, guess who you're dependent on? Big Daddy government. That's what they need. Those are the people in society that they one day get to control, get to push a mandate on, and everybody just lays down and does whatever they want to do. So none of this makes sense until you realize that they could be doing, but they're not doing on purpose.
Jedediah, I said you swallowed a couple extra red pills before. Now, I'm pretty sure you snorted them when I was on video with John a second ago. Jeez, she gets it, man. John, to a lot of those points, and I know you know a ton of insiders in the swamp and D.C. area and everything. My feeling is they didn't think that he was going to break down this quickly. I agree with Jedediah that this is intentional. This is a demolition of our economy and all of our structures and institutions so that we'll sort of need them more in their estimation. But I don't think that they thought he wouldn't make it 4 years, and that's becoming pretty obvious. Again, we're only a year and a half into this thing with him.
Yeah, look, I mean, they deluded themselves, though, right, guys? Think about this. We have a corporate media that set the bar for then candidate and now President Joe Biden. His competency bar was set at, oh, wow, look, he was able to order his own ice cream. Chaka chaka chip. I mean, this is where they set the bar for the president of the United States. But to Jedediah's point, I've been saying this for well over a year and a half. 100% she's correct. This is all by design. Take Liz's point about fuel prices. 100%. We can open up oil and gas leases. We can increase drilling. We've got the refining capability to refine as much oil as we bring out of the ground, as much natural gas as we bring out of the ground. But it's very chilling when the CEO of Chevron, as he said the other day, says we may never see another refinery built in the United States. That should chill everybody. But people, unfortunately, aren't students of history. And if you go back to 2009, 10, 11, when Obama was president. Again, to Jedediah's point about wanting everybody on the public dole, what did Obama do? He declared war on the coal industry. We all knew that. Those were big headlines. The left-wing media loved it. The story they didn't tell is that while he declared war on the coal industry, he and Joe Biden increased the output of the coal leases on Bureau of Land Management land, right? So the U.S. government was making billions as they were destroying private coal producers. They're going to do the same thing here. Look, I'm going to come out and say it. The Democratic Party, the far left, radical communist Democratic Party, now wants to do to all Americans what they've done to Black Americans for decade upon decade. Keep them oppressed, keep them in poverty, keep them in squalor, and keep them completely dependent upon government. Jedediah is right. Liz is right. That is exactly the end game.
Woo, there is a theme to this Friday show.